I 34F have been in a relationship with Finn 47 male for a little over a year. I live on my own and he lives on his own, but occasionally I spend the night at his place. Finn is handsome, fit, funny, and charitable. His kindness was what caught my attention. He was just a very thoughtful and kind man, and I love that about him. I have struggles with PTSD, so I don't feel comfortable with intimacy until I feel safe and trust that person. Finn said he understood and didn't press it. We didn't start getting intimate until 2 months in, but I was pretty drunk, so I was upset the next morning and he comforted me. He didn't get angry or blame me at all. After that we had a healthy sex life. I was adamant he wear protection every time. Once while we were in the middle of playtime he asked if he could take the condom off. I said no, and he said that it wasn't feeling good to him and he is unable to climax with one on. I said no again. Afterwards he didn't cuddle or hold me like he always did and said nothing to me. I got up to get a water and ask if he needed anything and leaned over to kiss his cheek. He shied away from my kiss and muttered, "Oh, now you care about me?" I asked him what that was about and he told me he bends over backwards to make me happy, but he didn't get to feel good because I won't let him not wear a condom. I told him I am very worried about pregnancy. I live in a place where abortions are extremely difficult. He said I am on birth control, so what's the issue? I said that's not 100% and he knew it. I grabbed him a water and told him that if he got a vasectomy, we could talk. They are reversible and accessible. I just cannot get pregnant. We didn't discuss it again and he even apologized for being a jerk the very next morning and took me to the spa. I apologized for ruining the night and he said it was alright and we kind of moved on. Everything was great, and around the 6-month mark, he said he thinks we are getting serious and that he considers me his partner, and asked about the condoms again. I reminded him of my requirement for that and he said he had to think about it. About 2 months ago, he had a work trip that lasted a week and a half, and when he returned he was all over me. At the time I was going through a difficult depression. I suffer from depression and sometimes it gets really bad. He seemed annoyed and made a remark that I am punishing him for missing and loving me so much, and he held my face and started kissing me again. After the back and forth for a few more minutes I just gave up and we had sex. In the middle of it, he asked if he could take off the condom and I said no, but he said he had the vasectomy. He was so excited to get me in bed he had forgotten to tell me. I stupidly said, well, alright then. After that he would forget the condoms altogether. Until my cycle was off. At first I figured it was stress, change in diet, a billion other possible reasons, but this nagging feeling came over me and I got tested. Pregnant. He found me crying on his bathroom floor and asked what was wrong, so I told him and he smiled and laughed like, "Really? That's amazing, baby." And left me there and he went whooping through the other room. When he came back he was rattling off so much info. He had a dream about this and now it's happening, so it must be a sign. My brain finally caught up and I asked about the vasectomy and he said it's not 100% right? Like condoms and pills. I was puzzled as the only goalie we took out of the equation was condoms. He said it was a miracle and I told him absolutely not. I explained that my best friend lives in a different state and I will be going to visit and also benefit from the reproductive health clinics there. He went silent. He asked me if I really hated him that much and I didn't understand. I said I never want to be pregnant and that he knew this about me. That hasn't changed. He became extremely angry with me, saying I wouldn't dare murder his child and that if I loved him, I would never threaten that again. He explained that he will take care of us, he makes plenty of money, and don't I treat you like a queen? So all he is asking is that I have the baby. I said I needed to go and started packing to go home and he followed me repeating things like, "You won't though, right? You won't murder my baby?" And stuff like that. He kept asking where I was going and I said home. I was too tired and emotional right now and I want to go home. He stepped in the doorway and said no and we need to talk about this. I started to get upset as he was blocking me and I felt trapped. I asked him to move and he said no. I asked him again, "I want to go home," and he said no again. He said, "You are not leaving. What part of that don't you get?" I started crying and grabbed my phone and backed away from him, telling him to stay away from me. Finn looked really sad and said I couldn't be serious. He would never hurt me and asked me to stop crying. I demanded he let me leave and he did. He has since been calling and texting me begging me to talk to him. He says I really hurt him by pretending to be scared of him, as I know he would never hurt me. He said he treats me like a goddess and I played the helpless victim card and that things like that can ruin a man's life. He then said that I wasn't thinking straight and is your brain lying to you again? When I have a PTSD or depressive episode I sometimes say my brain is lying to me again to make it seem less heavy a topic. He has a very community-facing job and I remembered the look on his face when I backed away. I don't want to ruin his life or our relationship. In the moment my emotions were so high that I just reacted. But I wasn't pretending. I sat in my car for God knows how long, shaking before I could drive home. I've been ignoring his reaching out, but I feel like a coward. Update 1. So I made an appointment and got the abortion. It was honestly such a horrible experience, but my bestie was with me and the whole staff were so kind and supportive, so I am grateful. Thank you to those who encouraged me to get it done. It was awful, but pregnancy and being trapped with him would have been much worse. Finn texted Wednesday and apologized and said he said things he didn't mean and to please answer my phone as I have been ignoring him. When he called again my bestie recorded it all. Before I could finish hello he went on a long bit about how amazing I am, how much he loves me, what a great mother he knows I will be, and he will marry me immediately if that's a concern of mine. When I finally got to talk, I said that I am no longer pregnant and I never want to be, and that I was clear about this from the beginning. He asked if it was miscarriage and then said, because I know you wouldn't willingly murder our child, right? Say right. It's a miscarriage. I got quiet and he said that it's okay, miscarriages are not the female's fault and that we can just try again. I said again? We weren't trying to begin with. I was on BC and he had the vasectomy and you all guessed it. He laughed and said he lied about the vasectomy so I would give up on condoms, that he long decided I was perfect and he loved me and wanted me to be the mother of his kids. My best friend spoke up and said that was recorded and to leave me alone or she will post it on social media, and he started screaming at us. He then sounded like he was crying and said I was a witch for this. That I am a hateful murderer and that I broke his heart. He went on to say if I tried to slander him to remember actions have consequences. He then broke up with me and said he will check back with me in a few days when I am actually alone and we will talk in person to see if I have come to my senses. He wants us to go to church together Sunday, which is now today, and set a time to pick me up. I said no, but I do have a Ring cam, and sure enough he showed up at my door. I watched him note my car was not there, and at my front door, on camera, he texted me asking if I was sleeping around on him and if I let the other man ride you like a wild horse without a condom, and if so he gets a hall pass. He said to come home immediately as we need to come to an understanding about relationship ASAP. I return home tomorrow and don't know what to do. Edit. Anyone who wants to shame my abortion, I have zero regrets and actually will advocate for them from now on. But I will happily mock you in the comments. Thanks, actually, you reminded me how little an opinion means to me if it's coming from a disrespectful and or bigoted place. At least I get to laugh through this nightmare. Edit 2. I won't be going home alone any longer, Bestie is coming with me and I have a friend in the city I live with my spare key and he is now in my home watching it for me. Edit 3. Since I've been asked in the comments, this really blew up, so sorry if I don't reply to you all. I am in a safe location with 2 male friends who know the whole story and we are looking into options. I don't want to do anything hasty. A guy friend is at my home and thus far it's been quiet. I will make an update when I know more. Edit 4. No, I will not harm myself the way some of you have messaged me. For those calling themselves pro-life, you sure want me to take my own. Not very pro-life at all. And since we're on the topic, I don't want to get pregnant because I was told by my doctors that I have a high chance of passing away even before making it to term. The child also has a high rate of mortality during the pregnancy. Essentially we would both kick the bucket before delivery. I am ineligible for tubals or hysterectomy where I live until I turn 40 at PLA, especially with my insurance, and I would never be able to afford the out-of-pocket fee. The places even still require a husband's signature as a poli. Sigh. I would be open to adopting if I ever found the right person and were settled and ready. Update 2. I didn't even realize so many of you messaged me to check in or offer kind words. A lot happened in a short time, but I will try to make it brief. Finn came to my home again, but I was not home. On my Ring cam I saw him have a total fit. He was cursing me out, calling me on the phone, and when he got my voicemail he muttered I'm going to F-king KLL her over and over again and said it super loud once before walking off. I have been getting a lot of hate mail, texts, and the like calling me a murderer. My Facebook was flooded with these messages as well, and most of the profiles were people who went to Finn's church. So I sent him a text that either the harassment stops or I will post the recordings of him. All of them. The call, his threats, the texts, his voicemails, all of it. He replied, I have been patient in my love for you, but you are being a brat. And went on to say that I need to come to my senses and meet with him because he will no longer spoil me and discipline needs to be introduced to our relationship because actions have consequences. As for the rest I will skip over a bit for the sake of brevity. My bestie said that I should go to the police and we did, but nothing concrete has come of it yet. Something I low-key expected, honestly. It's a small little city outside a bigger, more populated one, and the small town vibes can run deep in certain circles. Many of the people go to the church Finn is at, and that includes a lot of the police department. It came to a head last week when I sent some of the recordings to his parents who are on staff at the local megachurch in the area. His mom responded and asked to meet with me, so I went with my bestie to a public spot in the city. When she met with me she was incredibly apologetic and said that his position at the church is terminated. The staff will meet about this and decide on the full measure of consequences as his church family. She told me that she herself had an abortion before Finn was born, and her decision to do so came hugely from the fact that the father was manipulative and abusive and she was not ready to be a mother even if she had a reliable and loving partner and co-parent. She went on to meet Finn's father and married him and had her children. She told me that she isn't sure if I had an abortion or miscarriage, but either way I should not be harassed by Christians claiming to be pro-life. I can't explain to you the relief those words gave me considering the vile that was messaged to me. Finn's sister reached out to me via text to share that she does not condone what her brother has been doing and to reach out if I needed anything. Finn later was arrested for assault, I came to find out, but I don't know who he assaulted or why. Just that he was taken into custody, and as he put me down as his partner, I was called to pick him up as he had been released. The running assumption is they kept him to sober up before releasing him. I didn't. I have since been looking for a new place to live as he knows my address and has come by more than a couple times. I am staying with 2 of my best friends away from my town, and my home is more or less storage for my things until I find a place to move. All things considered, I am actually really happy. My friends threw me a Yeetus that fetus party and decorated the place with the troll comments from my last post. They made a piñata with scrapped paper with his texts and that of his church pals, and instead of candy it had condoms, small bottle of lube, and paper. That was my last surprise. They pooled together a nice sized donation to reproductive health clinic near my city, and they pledged hours to volunteer. We are taking a summer trip together to have a hot girl summer kickoff and have many things planned. The 2 male friends I am staying with check on my house for me and saw Finn there once and made it clear under no uncertain terms that I was protected and that if he tries to make more trouble that actions have consequences. I have it recorded on my Ring cam and it was glorious. Finn sent me a text telling me that I am a cruel witch that ruined his life and broke his heart, all because he loved me, but to not trouble myself with acting scared of him more because he is leaving the state soon for a new job anyway. He did end the message with I have, do, and always will love you, and perhaps one day your cold heart will melt and you can find within it your buried love for me. Like bro, take the sugar out of your Kool-Aid because I ain't drinking it anymore. Not to say everything is sunshine and roses. I have been in a lot of therapy and finding that I overlooked a lot of red flags and have to unlearn a lot of people-pleasing behaviors to become a more confident and true version of myself. Plus my friends don't really fully believe he is leaving town, so I'm still staying with them for the time being. I love them a lot, but it's like having 4 older siblings fussing about like mother hens. I cannot wait to have my new place. Thanks to you all for the kindness and support. I think this is my last update on the matter, as I don't intend on wasting any more time than I have to on that abusive price of garbage. Remember, you know yourself best and can love yourself best. Life is too short not to make the right choices for yourself, your well-being, and your happiness, because you matter. I know you don't want to, but keep all of the disgusting messages your ex sends you, because now that he's been charged with assault, the next time you file a police report against him, they'll have no choice but to take it seriously. Meanwhile, continue your healing process and I hope you'll have peace soon. I'm glad you're safe. Update 3. So I moved. I took a pay cut and moved to Austin. I can say that now free of worry because Finn? Well, he's in prison. For murder. I know a disjointed rendition of what happened. Finn got drunk out of his mind at a local bar, then shit-talked a retired Marine because the Marine spoke about his wife's abortion. They fought, Finn got his ass kicked, Marine left, and a regular gave Finn shit for getting his ass kicked, so Finn fought him. He threw the guy into a wall and it gets worse from there. The guy was fine for a few days but passed away due to his injuries. FR all those who say my posts are fake and rage bait and shit, well, welcome to the weirdest fucking part because this? I can see why this makes you think that. I had since gotten a new job in ATX and was moving when I heard Finn's father asked me to testify to his character and to say my abortion caused this. I obviously didn't. I moved with only the essentials and had a wonderful summer traveling with friends. I got back last week and am now unpacking my new home. Unrelated, but Austin is a fun freaking city. When I got back and logged PN, I saw a lot of you were concerned about my safety, so I wanted to update. I'm totally okay, already have few friends and I'm going to adopt possibly the cutest little senior Yorkie. I am literally in the waiting room where they will bring him out after he gets all his exit medical out of the way. I am also in the virtual queue for an adult Rottweiler and it sounds like I might get her. So I may have her by the time the work week begins. Anyway, I wanted to say thanks to everyone who was supportive, and also I admit rub my happiness in the face of the trolls who wished me misery. I am petty. Sue me. Now on to second story. Stood my ground against my fiance's habit of taking my food when her adventurous orders go wrong, leading to a big fight and her leaving. This has been going on since we've dated in college. I'll use last night as an example. I'm always safe order guy, meaning I get chicken tenders, steak, a burger, orange chicken, etc. It's not that I dislike other food, it's that if I'm doing something crazy I want to be, prepare it, cook and serve it, be in control of the whole process. She always orders the special, the catch of the day, the taster's menu, etc. And she invariably says I don't really like this, I should have just ordered what you got, let's switch. And she grabs my plate, sometimes I'm able to eat her food, sometimes it really is bad and then I go hungry. I've brought this up with her and she has upfront told me she thinks it makes her quirky and fun, and I've known this since dating her. Last night we went to a sports bar after our league beach volleyball game and were starving. I just wanted food, so I ordered chicken tenders and fries. This dingy sports bar was having a snow crab special, which of course she wanted. I begged her to please just order something they couldn't mess up, and she accused me of being so boring. Food came, she crab legs looked, smelled and tasted like they were rotting wax, and of course she didn't want it in one of my tenders. I finally stood up for myself and said no, she could send them back and order her own food. Cue massive fight. She accused me of wasting food, of not cooperating with her and not reading the room, whatever that meant. I told her that no, I was not doing it this time. She started crying and demanded to go home. I said no, I was so hungry I was eating my food. I think she got an Uber to a friend's house and I have not seen her since. I'm fed up. Is this breakup worthy, and what should I do about this? Edit. We are engaged and live together. We also share credit cards and bank accounts. Update 1. I'm on mobile, so I'll load link to original in and edit in a minute. I don't remember the exact timeline of how things went down on Sunday as far me posting, but original was locked when she texted me at 6 p.m. telling me that I owed her a huge apology for the way I behaved at the sports bar and the volley hall game. I still don't know what that is about. I asked her where she was. She said she would tell me, and I apologized. I said I was not going to apologize. She said she needed some time to think whether this relationship was right for her. I told her that I'd just exhausted by so much of what she does that I couldn't do it anymore. She hung up and I haven't heard from her since. She hasn't even been by to pick up a change of clothes, so I don't know where she is. I canceled all my credit cards we shared and opened a new bank account and took half out of our shared, but she hasn't taken any money out or used her debit card, so I guess I'm a little concerned since for all effect purposes she's disappeared. I'm not too worried now, but if I haven't heard anything by Friday I'll call her parents. I kind of think she's doing this disappearing act for attention.